Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Hearing Him First. This is a collection of short videos that are designed to help you hear God first, to hear His voice the loudest and the clearest throughout the day. So for me and for many people who watch this, that means that at some point during the day you clear everything aside and you spend some time in His Word, you spend some time in prayer, you spend some time maybe journaling or reflecting on what He might be saying to you. And these videos sort of flow out of that for me. I spend most mornings with a cup of coffee in my favorite easy chair, with a Bible and a journal. And then every couple of days, couple times a week, I share some of those thoughts with you, just with the purpose of helping you hear God first. And so if you want to subscribe, you can go to youtube.com, click Hearing Him First, and type that into the search bar, and then click subscribe. And that will help you make sure you never miss a video. There's over 50 videos now, so you can go back and catch up or rewatch some favorites if you've never done that before. But today I want to talk about the faith of Moses, particularly as we see it developing and progressing in Exodus chapter 14. So if you want to head on over to your favorite Bible app or get out a copy of God's Word, you can turn to Exodus chapter 14. And so just to kind of catch you up with the context here, the last time I did one of these videos, we were talking about the call of Moses, and today we're talking about, we don't know for sure how much timeline-wise has taken place in these last 10 chapters, but we do know that Moses has performed the miracles before Pharaoh, and Pharaoh has finally let the people of God go out into the desert to worship him, and he changes his mind shortly after. He's pursuing them right now with chariots and with an army, and the people are terrified, and they are crying out to Moses and saying just foolish things like, were there not enough graves in Egypt that God had to lead us out here into the desert to be slaughtered by the Egyptians? So that's kind of where we pick things up. Moses is in a tough spot as a leader, and yet we read these words in verse 13 and 14. Moses answered the people and said, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." And that last line is one of my favorite verses in the entire Old Testament. I have a large plaque of it in my office that my wife and kids gave me. I've reflected on those words over and over. I've relied upon them many times. This promise that the Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still. But today, when I read this, I noticed the faith of Moses as he leads the people of Israel. And if you watch the last video, episode 51, you know that Moses really struggled with this call, and he threw up all kinds of objections and even begged God to send somebody else. But here we see Moses taking that mantle of leadership. And what stands out to me is that these are Moses' own words. These are not the Lord saying, tell them to, say this to the people. These are Moses stepping into that position of leadership. And these are his response to the people grumbling against him and against the Lord. It is interesting, Moses was told by God back in verses 1 through 5 what God was going to do, but it's clear here that Moses believed God, believed that he was going to do what he said he was going to do. And now he is speaking unprompted by God to his people as their leader. And I think that shows a lot of progress from Moses. This was, compared to just 10 chapters ago where he was the whining, complaining person begging God to send somebody else. Now he is actually been equipped by God and is continually growing in his faith and his leadership. And I think that's a good lesson for us, and maybe a good prayer for us, that it would be the same for us, that we would grow in our faith, that we would grow in our influence. That's really what leadership is influence, that we would grow in our influence, whether that's with our family, with our friends, with the person we see in the mirror every day, or if God gives us greater influence over a larger number of people, whether that's at work or in church or and maybe in a social setting or a civic organization or something like that. When we have influence, we should steward that well. We should grow in our leadership, grow in our faith, and we should never forget to thank God for the times that He fought for us when we were either too weak and unable to fight for ourselves, or when He just said, "You need to be still, and I'll take this one." We shouldn't forget that. So that's my hope and my prayer for you today. And I hope and pray that this encourages you. And if you think of somebody else that would be blessed by it, just write their name down in the comments to tag them on this, or go to YouTube, get the link, and send that to them in an email or a text message, and just pass this along. So God bless you. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again here very, very soon.